Many of us are patiently awaiting further confirmation and news about Battlefield 6, guys. The upcoming game that is probably going to get announced at some point or another. I would say, very close in the foreseeable future. We should be seeing, some official reveals of what's coming to us in the next edition of the Battlefield franchise, that being Battlefield 6 or whatever it is they decide to call it. Now, with that, I wanted to go ahead and take this segment of the show and talk about the top 5 things that we want out of Battlefield 6. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions. Some of you may share similar opinions as me. Some of you may share completely different opinions. Let me know regardless in the comment section down below what your top 5 things that you want to see in Battlefield 6. So let's get into it. So guys, coming in at number 1 for me, and this is really important. This gets us over to, whether you play Battlefield for the story, whether you play Battlefield for the multiplayer, whatever it is that you play this game for, and this franchise for, I think there's no getting around that the traditional campaign versus that of the war stories. And what I will say is this: war stories were great. I really enjoyed them. They were very short and, they were short and sweet. Let's put it that way. But I really want to go back to a traditional campaign, a full-blown campaign, guys. No more war stories in this upcoming game. I really want there to be a fleshed out campaign that we're able to experience in a major way. We've had 2 games back-to-back that had war stories. There's nothing wrong with those. I just think that they were short and sweet, and I wish that they would have, had more to offer in that front. So with that, guys, I want a full-blown campaign and something that we're able to connect with, whether we're talking semi-open world, a full open world, or just, linear as it usually is. I just want there to be a full campaign that we're able to experience and really connect with the characters and learn the game before actually jumping into multiplayer. That leads me to number 2, guys, which is the type of game here. For me, I want this to be a modern or a futuristic game. I would love them to take kind of some things out of the Battlefield 3 book, and I'd like them to kind of go back into the modern shooter or even a little bit futuristic. I'm not talking about what Call of Duty did with jetpacks and such, but I'm saying having some futuristic guns might be actually really cool for Battlefield 6, and I think it's time. Look, we had World War I, then we had World War II, back to back. It's time to at least get modern or at least somewhat in the future. We really haven't seen a significant futuristic take on Battlefield, at least for a long time. And so I'd really like to see them do a little bit of a futuristic shooter here. But at the very least, make it a modern shooter if you're not going to go full-blown futuristic. With that, guys, that leads me to number 3. I think one of the coolest things about Battlefield 5, outside of, the multiplayer, which I thought some of the multiplayer experience were good, but it kind of drew old after time. I really liked Firestorm, though, which was the Battle Royale mode for Battlefield, and I would love to see this continue here in Battlefield 6. Now, whether they call it Firestorm, but it's more of like a futuristic type of ordeal or modern-day shooter, however they want to do it, I would love to see them continue BR moving into the next, this next title, because look, I mean, as a whole, Battle Royale is a massive genre at this point, and Battlefield, especially if they were to make the BR side of it free to play, or they were to, do something along those lines where they really made it accessible to everyone, which really put even more eyeballs on Battlefield, similar to what Call of Duty did with Call of Duty Warzone. I think it would be a really smart move for Battlefield as a whole, as a franchise. And, coming off of a couple of games here that people loved Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 5, I think, people were starting to kind of get, a lot of people actually ended up coming back over to Call of Duty because of they didn't really want to play the World War II style anymore, or the World War style. They wanted to kind of play something a little bit more futuristic or even modern, and we didn't get that. So I think it would be really smart for the BR side of things to kind of take whatever the direction is that they do with Battlefield 6, whether it's modern, futuristic. I think that they follow that here with the BR side of things as well. And I think free to play would be huge for Battlefield 6 as far as from a Battle Royale perspective. That leads me to number 4, guys. And this one, going to be a little bit controversial because some of you, don't really like us talking about Battlefield esports, but I really want to see a dedicated esports scene. And so that's at number 4 for me, guys. It's really important that I believe Battlefield as a franchise, for it to continue growing in a major way, it is going to need more ways to, to get eyeballs, to get people watching this game. And I think of it like, why not having esports? Why not have it? I mean, look, Battlefield, I think, is primed to have an esports, type of style. You look at all these games out there in the landscape of gaming that have taken things from Battlefield, from their successes. Why can't Battlefield do that with some of these other titles like Call of Duty? Why can't they create smaller maps and create faster paced games, even if it's like a competitive playlist where you're able to play, fast paced games with no vehicles or something, and those are like the esports maps. I just think that when people say that this wouldn't be a good esports game, I think they're just thinking of like the large maps and how it would maybe work. I'm saying make some of the maps smaller, make a playlist for competitive players out there, a ranked playlist that you can play on a consistent basis, and that's where the pros would play and such. Building an esports scene, guys, could really grow this franchise in a major way over time. And that's just my personal opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section below about that. But that leads me to number 5, guys. I alluded to it in this last part, but I really want to see, smaller maps. Even if it's just like for certain, like a certain playlist, like competitive playlist, or if they make it for all these different, game modes, having some smaller maps. Sure, it's fine having large maps. That's what Battlefield's known for. But also evolving the franchise, right? Evolving it where there's large maps, medium-sized maps, and small maps, similar to games like Call of Duty. And there's nothing wrong with them doing that, guys, because Call of Duty has found a ton of success by evolving over time. And Battlefield, to me, hasn't evolved in the way that other titles like Call of Duty have. And so I think in order for them to kind of keep pace with what's going on, they need to have some smaller maps. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Maybe some of those maps you won't like because it won't feel like Battlefield, but some people may really like it. And then when you have the esports side of things and you're able to watch it on a consistent basis, you're going to have more ways to connect than ever with the Battlefield franchise. And so I'd like to see smaller maps where you have a faster pace, where it's able, you move around faster. You at least have the option. Because sometimes, guys, at least speaking for myself here, having the larger maps is great. I love sniping, so I love going into certain areas and just snipe. But there's some times, guys, where you go an entire match, you only get a couple of kills with the sniper rifle, or, you're looking around for people. And I'm just saying that I believe personally that having some smaller maps where there's a lot more just run and gun, I think it would be a lot of fun. And there's also strategy to that as well. Even, kind of similar to that of the larger maps, there's strategy no matter what. It's all about how you, construct and design the maps and such. We see it all the time with games like Call of Duty. I would love to see it here with Battlefield. And with that, guys, those are the 5 things that I want to see in Battlefield 6 moving into this title. I hope that we get, some of these. I'd love to get all of these things, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would you want to see different things? Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I'm saying? Let me know. What are your top 5 things that you want to see in Battlefield 6? And for more Battlefield 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.